everyone. How are you? Welcome to another episode of my Orisha journey. It's me, Daydream Alston, aka Oyabunmi. I hope you are well. I hope as you're watching this, your body is healthy and strong, that your immune system is strong, that you are in good spirits, and that your loved ones are doing well also. Ashe. So before I get into the topic, I just want to remind you guys that I have partnered with my Babalawo to offer Ifa readings. So if you are interested in receiving a reading, please contact me through my website. You can find the information in the description box below. Okay? Great. And also be on the lookout for some new classes that I'll be offering soon. Wonderful. So today I want to share with you a story from the Holy Odu Irete Meji. So what happens when I get an Ifa reading is I really go into depth in terms of researching the Odus that I receive. Right? I do that because I really want to understand the energy that is moving through my life at that time. So I came across this Odu because it came up in one of my past readings. And as I was, not the Odu itself, but I came across this story as I was researching Irete Meji. And I thought this was a very good story to reinforce the importance of completing your sacrifice, completing your ebo. So as I ventured into this space of helping people get Ifa readings, there are people who ask me constantly, do they need the ebo? Or, it's like, don't I have a choice to do the ebo? Or, what if I don't want to do it? Do I have to do an ebo every time I do an Ifa reading? It is very, very important that you complete your ebo as soon as you can after receiving the Ifa reading. If you study the Odu, you'll see over and over again this importance being reinforced. It's kind of being drilled into our heads. When someone is told to offer sacrifice and they do it, usually whatever was said was coming their way. If it was something negative, then that negative thing would be defeated, would be reversed. If it was something good, the good thing would come to them. But if they don't do the ebo, there's always some type of ill that befalls them. Something bad will happen. Now, this is not to say, I'm not sitting here guaranteeing that if you don't do your ebo, something horrible is going to happen to you. But if you study the Odu, you will notice a pattern. And the pattern states, when you do your ebo, good things happen. When you don't, things get kind of messed up and screwy, okay? All right. So, in Irete Meji, we find Iku. Now, Iku is death, the spirit of death, the energy of death. Death is married to a very beautiful woman in this story. Now, the woman, on top of being very beautiful, was obedient to him, very kind, demure, just like what people would consider the perfect woman. But it didn't matter because Iku treated her horribly. He threatened her and her family. He actually was so mean to her that she fell into a very deep depression. And on top of being nasty to her and her family, he locked her in a room and never allowed her to go out. So as you can imagine, this woman is living in constant fear of her life. She has no interest in anything. She's just so despondent. Right? So she can't get out the room and she can't leave the house, so she can't go and get an Ifa reading. But what she does instead is praise to Olodumare. And this is something you can do too. If you do not have money for an Idafa or an Ifa reading, you can pray sincerely to Olodumare. So one day, Okere is the squirrel. He was wandering in the woods looking for food. And all of a sudden, he hears the cries of a woman. And he's just like, what is that? Right? And he's listening carefully and walking around trying to find where this crying is coming from. he goes in that direction. And when he's in the area of the crying, he's just like, he sees this area, this door that had been completely sealed off. And he's just like wondering, what is this? What is going on here? So Okere asks, who is it? Who's in there? And the woman says, it's me. Please help me. And he hears this very sad voice. He hears the sadness in her voice. He hears the despair. And he's just like, oh my goodness, he's trying to get into this door, but he can't get in. So Okere says, all right. He said, I promise you, I'll be back tomorrow to get you out of here. I can't get in. It's, the door is firmly closed. So he leaves. And the rest of the day and that night, he's like, bugging out a little bit. He's wondering, what the hell? Who would do this to someone? Who would lock a woman away like this? So the next day, as promised, he gets up, he goes, and he works very, very hard to get this woman to break her free. And it wasn't easy because the door was sealed. He had to really use his ingenuity and find a way to get her out. So finally, Iku's wife steps out and is free. And the woman thanks him profusely. She's so excited. But she also tells him there's nowhere for her to go. She lives with Iku, but she would never go back there. So Okere is like, okay, well, just come with me to my house. So they're on their way to Okere's house, and she's telling him the story of her life. And it's such a pathetic and sad story. And he just feels sad for her. She tells him of how she was constantly intimidated by Iku and how incredibly cruel he was to her. And that he just was unjust. He had this unjust aggression towards her all the time, and she didn't understand why. So, she just knew she had to escape, and it didn't matter that she escaped with nothing. So Okere takes her to his home, and that night they're sleeping on the same mat. And one thing leads to another, and Okere and the woman become man and wife. So, that basically means they knocked boots. So now they man and wife. But what happens now is, you would think Okere would be so happy because he's with this beautiful woman who's very calm and has good character. But he can't enjoy it because now he knows for sure that Iku would never allow this type of this type of defeat. Like Iku would never just admit to this and just be okay with it. So Okere is like desperate to figure out what he can do to make sure that he won't basically die at the hands of Iku because of this. And while Okere is going through this, Iku now is really trying to figure out why his wife left. Which is interesting. You would think, why would he not know, right? But he's so confused. He doesn't understand why she left. He was mean to her because he thought that was the way to keep her in check and to keep her there by scaring and intimidating her, but it didn't work. So he couldn't possibly understand that his harsh treatment would drive her away. So he decides someone had to seduce this woman in order to drag her away from him, right? And so now he's just like, his focus is on finding the person who seduced his wife. There was no way. He said he was going to teach that person and that person's family a lesson. So now Iku is hunting for Okere. Like he's out looking like, okay, who is this person, and really doing investigation to find out who he was. And all the while, Okere is so afraid that he's just like, damn it, forget this. He runs to his Babalawo. He gets Idafa. He gets a reading, and the reading says, Okere, you are going to be fine. You are going to overcome this enemy, but you need to make a sacrifice of 6 large kola nuts and money. And they had Okere take this sacrifice and put it by the side of the road. Now, this is what I love about this story, because as soon as the Ebo is submitted, here comes Eshu Odada. And Eshu Odada comes and takes control. Eshu is out, and he sees Iku, and he walks up to Iku and starts to talk to him. And Iku, tells him the story of how his wife was seduced and stolen by some poor fellow that he has to kill. And of course, Eshu was like, yeah, you have to kill him. Let's go find this guy. Now, Eshu leads Iku to where the kola nuts are. And he shows him the nuts. And Iku was like, oh, those look good. They're so fat and juicy. And Iku was like, well, I'm definitely going to eat some of the nuts, Now, he ate the nuts. He ate the kola nuts, the obiabata. And now Eshu is just kind of looking at him, right? And Eshu says to him, there's nothing that you can do now against the person who took your wife, Iku. You can't ever again do anything to this person. And Iku said, excuse me? What do you mean? And Eshu said, the person who left these nuts here, who placed the nuts here, was the person who snatched your wife. And he said, but you cannot in any way, shape, or form harm a person whose things that you have taken and consumed, right? It's like you have consumed this person's gifts, and now you cannot go and kill this person after that. It's a taboo. And Death couldn't argue. It's just like, I think Death was just like, dang, man, I can't go kill this man. And as she was like, sorry, you should not have consumed the kola nuts. When you do that, you definitely can't kill this person now. So now Iku had to just give up in good faith and know that he lost his wife. So now imagine if those nuts were not sitting by the side of the road, and Eshu did not run and come to Okere's aid, right? Okere would definitely have been killed at some point by Iku, and not just Okere, but his family as well. But because he completed his Ebo in a timely fashion, Eshu stepped forward and supported him and ensured that he would have long life and that he would get to enjoy his wife. Isn't that awesome? So I just want you guys to understand how important doing your Ebo is. You don't have to believe me. Go and study the Odu, and you will see this theme again and again that talks about the blessings that come with completing your Ebo and the challenges that come when you don't. Okay? Guys, it's always a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed this story from Irete Meji. And I just pray for your well-being as you are listening to this today. May you be blessed with the array of long life, with the array of good health, with the array of wealth, and just general well-being. Ashe, ashe, asheo.